Black Talk Radio Network is made possible in part with help from the Black Talk Media Project, a North Carolina-based nonprofit engaged in the production and distribution of independent digital black media. Find out more by going to blacktalkradionetwork.com or blacktalkmediaproject.org and look for the menu tab, Crowdfunding Black Media. Black Talk Media Project, helping to provide you with new black media for the new millennium. And opinions expressed by callers, guests, and hosts do not necessarily reflect those of the Black Talk Radio Network and Black Talk Media Project. Black Talk Radio is new black media for the new millennium.
Well, hello and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of BIB Radio. I am one of your hosts, CC Harry, and I am joined by my co-host, Brother Robert 11X. Robert, are you there?
Yes, I am. What's going on, Miss CC?
Oh, nothing going on but the rent over here.
Oh, man, come on now. I thought I got you up out of the rental situation.
We're always renting something. But today is April 20th, 2017. And I guess we'll have a small conversation about what's going on before we get into our first guest. But I would like to send my condolences out to my family, the Harry side of the family. We have lost our matriarch, my grandfather, John Will Harry. They thought he was going to pass away in 2012, but he actually made it all the way to 2017. Bless his wife, because she's taken care of him all this time, all throughout Alzheimer's and just all of the different tragedies, all by herself, but really with barely any help. And she's older herself. You know, he was, I believe, 82 years old, and he was in Anchorage, Alaska. I was glad that I got to see him this last time when I went back to Alaska. So may he rest in peace. And again, my condolences to the rest of my family.
Likewise, mine as well to your family.
Thank you. I so appreciate that. So in the news, BIB news, what is going on this week with you, Brother Robert?
Well, major construction over at the main BIB headquarters. Just really working on the property, trying to get this thing up and going. And the flip side of that is, of course, with the laundry detergent, just keeping my mind on that and trying to make both of these two entities work together, the real estate and the business, the retail side of it. So, as I said before in the past, our goal is to just become business owners, and that's what we're working on.
Right, which that's very important because you can actually end up enslaving yourself in your business if you don't strategically plan. And I think a lot of people have run into that on accident. And part of the reason I would say is because people have a hard time knowing who to hire, and they have a hard time trusting, which makes a whole lot of sense because that's your business. You can have all the security cameras in the world, but we know that people always find a way to steal. So it makes it kind of hard on the business owner. And I'm sure there's loads of training through places like SCORE, showing you how to hire the right employee, and that type of thing. And you and me, we've been observing customer service skills in different areas. So that's too important. If you hire somebody and they don't have really good customer service skills, that can kind of tear your business down. So there's a big trust issue there sometimes.
Right. You know, I always tell people each person should be the type of person that when a customer comes in, they always ask, where is Cece, or where is Robert, or where is Naima? It should be that demand from the public on every person that's servicing the people.
Absolutely. That's important, because if you don't have that going on, then your business is kind of dying. You know, people are not making those great relationships. I mean, that's what is good actually about brick and mortar versus the online, because brick and mortar, you do get to develop those wonderful relationships with the customer and the employee or business owner. Brick and mortar, internet, not so much. That's why I don't think brick and mortar will ever really go away. There's a whole phase with the internet right now, but brick and mortar is always going to be important. Especially with the things going on in the government these days, you never know what's going to happen with our internet. So if your business is purely on the internet, I'm just not really sure about that. I'm not saying anything is going to happen, but I'm just not sure. That's why you should have multiple streams of income. And that's why you should listen to this radio program every single week at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, so that you can get different ideas about opening different businesses or developing different streams of income.
And see, we have an opportunity for our listening audience to actually become distributors in your cities that you live in. You can actually start selling the laundry detergent that we sell. We ship it out by the pallet. There's 36 buckets on the pallet. That would run you about $720 plus your shipping. And your shipping rate is determined by what your zip code is. All you have to do is email us at We Are Blacks in Business, expressing your interest in becoming a distributor of the laundry detergent, and then leave us your zip code, and we definitely can get back with you within a 24 to 48 hour period. So, I mean, as you said, you know, you have to have multiple streams of income. The thing about what you said about the brick and mortar is just like the wheel. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just make it better. Now, brick and mortar has been suffering in terms of businesses, big business, like malls and stuff. Those big businesses will continue to suffer because of the high rent. But if you get the smaller mixed-use properties, buildings that's in the communities, and service the community need, you would do pretty well as long as you're buying that property, in my opinion, buying that property and occupying it at the same time, just like what we're doing right now. So you see, you know, we live upstairs in a 3-bedroom, got a big storefront downstairs, and, you know, we have an option to either open the store or lease the property out. And I think when people really get past the fact of living over where they work, because I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't want to live where I work. But you really got to look at that differently today. That is killing two birds with one stone. That is a great, great financial benefit for anybody to be able to live above where you work. And you own the job, you own the business. So, I mean, you can't go wrong with that. So this is not about, again, reinventing the wheel. It's just about making it different. So brick and mortar businesses are going to have to step up with the customer service. They're going to have to do a lot more entertaining the customer, different ways of doing that. It's just going to have to, you're just going to have to think a little different from how traditionally we thought about running a business. You're going to have to put some flavor into it, or whatever it needs to do. We need to do that. We're going to have to do that.
Right. Absolutely. I agree. We do have to continue to think of different strategic ways to run a business, because the world is definitely changing. And I'd like to think, and this has been said before, although the world is changing, we've had to stick and move all the time. We've had to make it happen all the time. So it's really nothing new for us to have to make do or make something out of nothing. We've done that for generations. So there are those that have not learned to do that, but they need to tap into their ancestry somehow, I guess, and learn to do it, because this system is quickly coming to a crash, and the things that we knew to be normal are not going to be normal anymore. And I think we probably need to start talking about those type of things. I mean, David definitely talks about it on Tando Radio, but as pertaining to your business, I posed a question in Tando Radio a little while ago when David's show was on, and I asked him about real estate. Like, for those of you listening and you don't know what's going on with the dollar, the dollar's in trouble. So I asked David, like, what would a person do if you're supposed to be collecting rent and then there's no more dollars available? Then how does that work? And those are questions that business owners need to know. If you're owning real estate and you're trying to collect rent, if there's no way for them to pay you, what are you going to do? So, we'll start discussing those things more and invite David on the show. So I believe that we have our guest on the show. Let me check really quick. Let's see. Her name is Dr. Letitia Wright, and she is a crowdfunding expert. A lot of people are still looking for ways to garner venture capital. I just listened to a program yesterday, and they were talking about Black females being the largest group of growing entrepreneurs. And they were also talking about the difficulty in gaining venture capital because the people at the table are generally white males, and they're not even really looking our way to really invest in us and go places. I also heard a man say that Black people are not really coming to the table, meaning they're not really proposing what they need to propose. They don't have a correct business plan and this type of thing. Again, this is another radio program, and Robert, I forgot to tell you, we actually have an appointment to go and meet with this guy. So we're going to meet with him in a couple weeks. He was on the radio program we were listening to the other day. But so back to our guest, Dr. Letitia Wright. She's actually in queue and ready to go. So we're going to learn about venture capital and crowdfunding. We'll find out who she is exactly in just a minute. Let me welcome to the show Dr. Letitia Wright. Hello, doctor.
Hello. Thank you for having me on.
All righty. Well, I understand you're traveling right now. Are you okay?
I am. Turns out some flights got canceled, so I thought I would be, someplace quiet by now. Unfortunately, I'm kind of still in the airport, so we'll just work with it.
Well, that's the life of an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I didn't really do a large introduction for our listening audience and for my co-host, Brother Robert 11X, who's on the line.
Hey, sister, how are you doing?
I am good. I'm well. Thank you so much.
Okay, so, Doctor, why don't we have you go ahead and explain to our listening audience who you are and what you do.
Thank you so much for having me. I teach people how to raise money using crowdfunding in 90 days or less. I'm part of America's top 100 crowdfunding strategists in the United States. I've been on that list for about 4 years. And I go around the country really teaching entrepreneurs, showing them how to do it, and then sometimes consulting privately with entrepreneurs that want to move that forward. I teach for the Small Business Administration in Las Vegas, the Small Business Administration in Los Angeles, and also the MBA program at Cal State San Bernardino in California. So there are just a lot of different people that are interested in it in terms of entrepreneurs. Last year I taught a Dallas Startup Week, Maui Startup Week, Oahu Startup Week, and it's just been really exploding because it's a way to get capital into your business without doing things the traditional way. So people are really excited about it, and I love teaching about it.
Okay, so for our listeners who are kind of doing things sort of the mom and pop way, which is not bad. I'm not degrading anybody because I love mom and pop. That's what I am. What exactly is venture capital?
Venture capital is when you're bringing in an investor who's looking to invest. So mom and pop, there's nothing wrong with mom and pop, because when you're going to a venture capital list and you're asking them to invest, one of the things they're going to ask you is, have you gone to family and friends? That's actually a sound business strategy, and they want to know if you went to family and friends first. So if you went to family and friends and you got all the investment you could get, and then you go to the next round and go to the next round and go to the next round, go bigger and bigger and bigger. The problem with venture capitalists is that most people come to them with very small deals. Angel investors, venture capitalists, they're looking to invest $10 million in that. And while most people can say, oh, I'd love to have $10 million, you couldn't, if you can't show on paper what you're going to do with that $10 million and how that $10 million is going to make money for them, you're not going to get it. The other thing is, a lot of people think an angel investor is just someone who loves you and has mercy on you and just gives you money for free. That's not it. An angel investor is also looking for a return on investment, a return on their money, and they're looking for a way that they can put their money out there and it comes back and it makes a lot of money. So you have to have a big enough capacity to attract these venture capitalists and angel investors. When you're using crowdfunding, you have a chance to work with people who are giving smaller amounts of money, but there are a lot of different people over time. And so there's a way to create investors through crowdfunding, and there's a way to create pre-sales through crowdfunding. So both of those things can work for entrepreneurs who are trying to get their business to the next level.
Wow. Well, that's a mouthful. Now, there are people just now really learning about crowdfunding, and we know about just the regular sites that people go to. What is the difference in a person just going to a crowdfunding site and building versus contracting with you to have you build it for them?
Well, the thing is that there's 6 different types of crowdfunding, and so when they're going to a crowdfunding site, they need to, number one, make sure that the crowdfunding site supports their business and their business model. And what happens is that if they use something like Kickstarter, they're starting to change their model a little bit, but mostly it's sort of pre-sales. And so you can go put your project up there. If they approve it, they only approve 6 out of 10. If they approve it, then you can begin to raise money on that site. That means that you're doing the work. Even though you're on their site, you're doing the work to get everybody there. When people work with me, they're paying me to bring the tribe there and get the money in and set everything up and get the video in. So it's just versus people that work with me because they really don't have the time to do it themselves. Some people are working a full-time job or they're working on another project, and so they hire me to basically run it for them, do everything and get the money in there. It looks like they're doing it, but I'm doing it behind the scenes. So that's really the difference. It's basically a do-it-yourself versus done for you.
Okay. Well, I know for me as a business owner, no, I really don't have time to pour anything into that. And I'm always one for delegation versus trying to do everything yourself. And with you being on the, what did you say, top 10 list?
I'm on top 100. I'm trying for top 10, but I'm in the top 100 crowdfunding experts in the United States.
Well, you're the only one I know, so that puts you up there.
Okay.
Well, yeah, top 100. I mean, I would say, hey, if you all are thinking about doing a crowdfunding, you should meet with someone like Dr. Letitia Wright, because she can definitely invest time and energy and her know-how into getting a great plan put together for you. Now, Dr. Wright, how do you work with people with nonprofits or 501c3s?
Nonprofits and 501c3s can use crowdfunding very, very well. I'm in the middle, or last 3 weeks of a campaign with Celebrate Life Cancer Ministry out of Los Angeles. You guys can see that at CelebrateLifeFundraiser.com if you want to look at what's going on, CelebrateLifeFundraiser.com. And basically, we've gotten her overfunded. She wanted to do a mini project for $2,500. She's up to $34.95, I believe. I think it's a little bit more than that, but I've been in the airport all day, so I haven't gotten an update. And so now she's 140% over her original goal. And so crowdfunding works really well for nonprofits. Again, it works very differently than the other types of fundraising that they've done. It's sort of counterintuitive. And so, again, we have a very busy founder of the nonprofit who just said, look, I don't have that kind of time to, spend on this campaign. I've got to run everything else in the nonprofit. And so she brought me in for a fee, and I, been running the project. I don't do, a lot of people ask me if I will, raise the money and then take a percentage out. And in the state of California, you can't do that with nonprofits. So the answer is absolutely no. And for everybody else, there's so much work that goes into the front end that, I do work off of a fee system as opposed to working off of, commission kind of thing.
Right. And so do I. So I definitely understand that. I mean, this is not hairdressing. So, yeah. Most definitely. I understand fully. Robert, you're there, and you have some projects that you would like to kick off. Do you have questions for the doctor?
I sure do. So one of my questions is this right here. Is this crowdfunding, because I'm so not familiar with any of it, I tried, my question is, first let me get the question. My question is crowdfunding the same thing as the GoFundMe?
Crowdfunding is what you're doing. GoFundMe is a website. There are 1,500 to 2,000 live websites you can be using to crowdfund on. So crowdfund is the action. GoFundMe is a website that does one type of crowdfunding.
Right, and see, I tried myself to actually do a GoFundMe for what I believe to be a very worthy cause, and I mean, I may have gotten about $130 towards two different projects. One was we actually wanted to take young men and women, young boys and girls, whether to trade shows in Las Vegas, and the goal was to take at least 5 young men and women to the trade show in Las Vegas, and I think the amount that we were trying to reach was somewhere around $4,000 or $5,000, and that it didn't even go off. I didn't understand what was done wrong or how that even works. So the other one was dealing with the same concept. Right before I bought the building that I was in, I had a GoFundMe page to actually try to come up with the monies to purchase the building. Our company, Blacks in Business, and what we were going to do was actually teach young men and women how to go into business, and this was going to be the main headquarters. I wind up getting the money myself, buying the building myself, but neither one of those two, what I thought were very worthy causes, did anything. So could you kind of help me to get an idea of maybe what I did wrong?
Well, first of all, the amount of money you raise versus the worthiness of an idea don't have anything to do with each other. A lot of people call me and they talk to me and they spend a lot of time appealing to the cause and telling me how important it is and how it will make such a difference. And none of that has anything to do with whether or not you raise money. It's understanding how crowdfunding works, and working it within those rules makes it work. If you show up to a baseball game in a football uniform, you're not going to do well. And that's what people are basically doing with crowdfunding. And so the worthiness is not the issue. There is a Kickstarter program that made $55,000, and the project was this guy was going to make potato salad, and he wasn't giving you potato salad, he was giving you pictures of him making potato salad. So when it comes to worthiness, that's not even on the chart of whether or not you're going to raise money or whether you're going to get the money. What matters is, are you communicating this to people, number one, who care about your cause? And number two, are you communicating this in a way that makes sense? And so projects have to make sense to the people that are going to get the money. Most people spend a lot of time, especially in the charity section, even in business, people don't know how to target their market. They spend a lot of time talking to people about what they're doing, and the people don't care about what they're doing. So one of my rules in business is fish in a hungry pond. Fish in a hungry pond. This means talk to people who are already leaning forward, who are already interested in what you're doing, who already care about what's happening in that area, and those are the people that are much more likely to give. But just talking to everybody because you think it's a good idea to tell everybody is a waste of time and energy because everybody just doesn't care. So those are two areas that you have to be aware of going into any crowdfunding project. Is number one, make sure you're telling the story in a way that makes sense for the people who want to give, and make sure you're talking to people who want to give. Forgive me for the beeps. I'm right by the luggage waiting for my luggage.
Oh, no, you're fine. Keep going.
So that's really part of the whole thing. A lot of times, too, people are asking for money for a business, and they're not getting anything in return. So when it's a nonprofit, it's a little bit different in that nonprofits generally don't have anything to give other than the write-off. So you better talk to people who really, really care about it. But when it's a business, if you're asking people to give you money because you're trying to buy a building and you just want a donation for a building, there's not a lot of people who are going to be enthused about giving you a donation for a building. So a lot of people, there's a big, big money in crowdfunding as an investment, but not so much as a donation.
Well, so I have a question to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying before. So you said there's 6 types of crowdfunding?
Yes, that's correct. I'll go through them for you. So, of course, there's charity crowdfunding, and that is done in a certain way. Each type of crowdfunding has its own set of rules. So if you're doing a different type of crowdfunding that's not charity, and you're using charity rules, you're not going to be successful. So there's charity crowdfunding. There's equity crowdfunding where you're selling shares of your company. You can raise up to $1 million, and you have shareholders. There is reward-based crowdfunding. Reward-based crowdfunding is based on kind of like pre-sales. I give you $25, you give me your book. You're paying early for something. There's subscription crowdfunding where you're actually paying over a long period of time. It's like the old-time pledges. So you're going to pay every month for whatever project is going forward. Subscription crowdfunding works really well for musicians and actors and artsy types of things. There's also a type of crowdfunding called crowd granting that's a partnership with the government. It's only done in a few places around the United States. The state of Massachusetts does it. Detroit, the city of Detroit does it. And what it is it's matching a crowdfunding project with a government grant that's already in place. So say you want to clean up your local park. You match with them through this special program, and the town comes up with $10,000, the government kicks in another $10,000, you use the $20,000 to clean up the park. So that's in very spotty places. It's a great, great way to use crowdfunding, but it's not all over the United States. And then there are also crowdfunded loans. Now, crowdfunded loans you can put together yourself. Again, these are loans with interest rate. People are charging the interest rate. Now, they don't care about your credit rating because they care about your story. But crowdfunded loans are also available. Crowdfunded loans have changed over time. So when you go to the websites these days, you have to be very careful that they're not just turned into regular websites that just want a loan. Crowdfunded loans are a very special animal. but they're not out there like they used to be. They're also called peer loans, peer-to-peer types of loans. Again, they're not based on your credit; they're based on other things, and you can begin to really figure out, what you want to do. So when it comes to raising money, all of these have different ways of doing it, and if you don't follow the rules, you won't get funded.
That makes total sense. That makes absolute sense. Just like preparing your taxes. I mean, there are people, of course, they just get their documents and they prepare it online and then they're done. But if you have a more elaborate situation, you're going to have to go to an expert and get those taxes done, because if you don't do the right deductions, or you do too many or whatever, then you could be in deep trouble. So you have to apply the same rules to this situation. If you want to properly be funded, if you want to not sit and wonder what the heck happened to my beautiful speech and my beautiful proposal, and I mean, my heart is bleeding. If you don't want to go through that stuff, people, then you have to hire Dr. Wright. At least call her, get a hold of her for a consultation so she can at least let you know, hey, this is what I can do for you. Your project deserves her attention. Like Brother Robert, he definitely deserves her attention for this situation. He wants to fund for the young people to go to Las Vegas. Now, he's talked about that over and over on the show. And you would think that people would pour money into it. But it's just perhaps the right crowdfunding venue has not been entered yet.
Exactly. He could be on the wrong venue. He could be talking to the wrong people. Okay, there are people who believe that, Las Vegas is evil. And if you take those children to Las Vegas, you're going to take them. And so that's not the people that you want to be trying to get money from. So it's really important that people be clear about their target market and who they're talking to. I do not believe in that old adage of tell anybody and everybody about your business, because everybody just doesn't care. They don't feel the same way. And so makes things easier. Make a game you can win. A game you can win is somebody who's already down for, hey, let's get those kids some business information and training.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's a hard pill for us to swallow, because we always want to look at the people that look like us and just think that they're going to support us. And quite frankly, all support wouldn't necessarily come from us. Am I right?
That's true. All support is not going to come from us, number one. Number two, the thing is that you can't lump people into any sort of bag. People are individuals, okay? Mm-hmm. We all care about different things. So it's really unfair to say, hey, well, you're black, so you're going to care about this. That's not a fair or smart way to do this.
Right.
No, that's kind of racial. Just because you're black, you're going to support this cause. No, that doesn't make sense. But in our mind, when we don't think things out, we kind of just plop those things down like that. So it's very important to definitely get a consultation. So let's talk about that. Now, if a person wants to connect with you so that they can properly get their project sourced, what should they do? How do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can definitely call me at the office. I'm at 909-235-9744. Again, that's 909-235-9744. They can give me a call. They can, just let me know they want to talk about crowdfunding. I'll be happy to call them back. There's a no-fee consultation where we will talk about the project. I can give them some direction. I can let them know if they want to work with me. They can figure out what they want to do. They do need a budget to work with me. Again, I don't work on commission, so if you're calling to say I have no money and please raise me $100,000, I'll tell you right now that's probably not going to work. But I'm happy to share with you what you can do to get started.
Now that sounds great.
So I got a question. So Ms. Wright.
Dr. Wright.
Dr. Wright, yes, ma'am. So you and I got you. You heard what my case was the base of it, right? So listen to what I'm striving. What my ideal is in your mind, processing what I said. Do you have direction for me already?
Absolutely. Number one, I would ask you to go back and think about who would support you taking children to Las Vegas to a business event. Okay, if you need $5,000 for that, number one, you need to have the budget set out. What's the money going to? $1,000 for this, $1,000 for that, $500 for this. It needs to be listed out. Number two, you have to talk to people who feel good about sending children to Las Vegas to a business conference. Okay, so who is going to? And let's just really break it down. It's not about it's a good thing to do and everybody should give back. Who really cares about those kids going to Las Vegas? And you got to ask yourself who does, because if the answer is nobody, you're going to have a really hard time getting money. If the answer is their family and friends care about them getting this, then you need to start talking to their family and friends and explain to them, hey, if you all give $50, the kids can go. No parent has to come out of their pocket thousands of dollars. The parents and friends can come together with $50 here, $50 there, and you guys can make that happen.
Right.
And you have to explain to them what is the benefit of that. So I don't know the kids. I don't know where you got them from. I don't know where you live. I don't know what's going on with that situation. But you have to ask yourself, who in the world cares that this happens for these kids?
So it actually sounds like to me that with crowdfunding, it's not as simple as posting it on a GoFundMe or whatever those websites are, and then allowing it to just take off by itself. Sounds like you really got to get behind that thing as well and put some energy, do some networking and some talking, huh?
Yeah, it is absolutely correct. They don't take off by themselves. They only take off because people are networking and putting energy behind it. Crisis types of crowdfunding, when they're raising $100,000 for the Boston City Bombers, that happens because think of all the relentless, endless PR the news is talking about it day in and day out, over and over and over and over again. This news is going out. If you had to pay for that, you'd be paying for millions of dollars of advertising or PR. But what's happening is that the news is picking it up and sharing it on your behalf. Now here's the regular person where it was not a tragedy, and they can't figure out why it's not taking off. It's not taking off because nobody knows about it. Not enough people know about it. And just it being on Kickstarter is not enough to make people know about it. Even Kickstarter choices, even when they pick a Kickstarter project and the people on Kickstarter love it, doesn't mean it's always going to get funded. And so that's what you have to really look at, is that how much money are you setting aside for you to push this project forward? Do you have a budget to advertise it? Do you have a budget to go out and network or talk to people? Some networking events cost money to go to, time to be at. So if you can't do any of that, if you can't push it, it's not going to get pushed. Here's the dirty, dirty secret about crowdfunding. Are you guys ready?
Ready.
Yes.
You got to bring the crowd.
Wow.
Well, let's go ahead and let everybody know. I have a couple people listening. If you all want to speak with the doctor, please press ** to unmute yourself so that you can ask her questions. I realize that you're there. Thank you for listening. Okay, doctor, go ahead and continue.
Yeah, I'm very happy to ask questions, because that really helps me nail down and make sure that you have the information you need. So please, I can just press 1 to raise your hand. Whatever it is you need to do to raise your hand, don't get off the line before you ask me a question, because I'd love to really help you understand and help you get closer to getting funded. Because getting funded is just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So that's the dirty secret, is that you've got to bring the crowd. You've got to figure out how you're going to bring the crowd. So what are you going to do to bring the crowd? Some people go to their church, they tell their church, people walk up and give them the holy handshake, and boom, they're funded. I've had clients do that. Some people don't even want to go to the crowdfunding site. They'll just hand you the money. But you must have a very succinct way of talking about what you're doing, and you must be talking to the right people. So it's not really likely that people in church are going to say, "Yay, I want to send kids to Las Vegas." That's probably not going to happen a whole lot. So
right.
you have to be
right.
very strategic.
Right, especially since he doesn't go to church, so it won't happen. But
Exactly. But you know, church, synagogue, wherever
right.
you're going, temple, wherever you're
right.
going, if those people are kind of negative about Vegas and gambling and that, you know what I mean, they don't feel good about that environment. My point is, if you're talking to people who don't feel good about the Las Vegas environment, they're not going to help you.
Right. And, you know, we expect those people that are around us to support us. That comes also in Facebook. We take those relationships so seriously in Facebook. When we share what we're going through, or we share that we have a project that we would like to put forth, we expect those people to support us. Well, doggone it, you're liking everything I say, you're replying and all that, and I would think that you would support me. Well, I mean, it's just a whole different animal. Just because people are your Facebook friends, or they're your Twitter friends, or your Instagram people, whatever, that doesn't mean that they're going to support you. Like the doctor said, you have to get around that crowd that wants to support your issue. Now, if you're lazy, and I'm going to say lazy, if you're lazy, it's just not going to happen. You have to be the person to put those efforts forth. I mean, of course, you might need to hire a team to help you put those efforts forth. You might need to go do some market research to find out who your crowd is. Do you think that that's true, Doctor?
I think you're completely correct. I think you must do market research to find out who your tribe is, who your crowd is going to support you. I think you must have a team. You can't do this for 60 days straight without a break. So you better have a team. So everything you just said is important to really being successful in crowdfunding. And most people have no team. They go at it by themselves. They stick it on a website, and they think, set it and forget it. And it just doesn't work like that. Again, crowdfunding is so counterintuitive to everything else you've done. And Facebook likes are not dollars. So everybody stop it with that hopium. Stop smoking hopium. A like is not $1.
Oh my
okay?
God.
A like is not $1. It's going to be really interesting because Facebook has crowdfunding now. And it's going to start taking off. A lot of people don't really know it yet. And it's going to start taking off. And like you said, people are going to be so disappointed when their Facebook friends are putting dollars on the line. Mm. So we have to be very serious, very clear about what we're doing. The people who have made lots and lots of money have oftentimes invested lots and lots of money. The people who have made $1 million have often advertised so much. They spend a lot in advertising. And it's just like any business. If you want to create $100,000 worth of revenue, you better be ready to spend at least $25,000 on really good advertising. And I find people over and over again, I want $100,000, and they have no money to put anything forward. They think their 5,000 Facebook friends is enough to support, and it just doesn't work like that. So, again, it's very counterintuitive to what you think it is. It's really best to get an education, take some time to study it, take some time to plan, put a team together, do some research, get your crowd together, and then launch.
That's definitely work. Now, myself last year, I had a project, and I was helping a young lady get her prom dress together. And, you know, at first she was like, no, I don't want to do it, because she was embarrassed. And I suppose that there are a lot of people that don't really like doing crowdfunding because they feel like it's some sort of charity/poverty case, because that was, you know, something she was going through. And of course she's young. But she finally let me do it. She finally let me post it. And do you know, within a half hour, the project was done. The dress was bought. All the accessories, I mean, just everything else that you needed, plus $500, I think, in her pocket. And it was amazing to me. I mean, that gave me some darn hopium, because I was like, I'm a crowdfunding guru. I mean, I was just thinking that I had did it. But how important is it to just not be so overly confident with these things? Because it's like one day it could go well and then the next day not.
Well, it's not that one day it can go well and the next day not. It's either you're doing it right or you're not. You were the right person with the right tribe who cared about this. Your tribe knows how it feels to be a young woman wanting to go to the prom and can't buy a dress, can't get her hair done, can't get jewelry, can't get... Your tribe is women that know that heartbreak, and they're willing to say, I'm not willing to let this young lady go through what I went through. I have a little something. I'm going to help her. But you had the right tribe. You talked to people who care about that. So it's not a willy-nilly, this just happened to work out good. It worked out because you did the right thing.
Wow, that's good to know. Well, that tribe was a tribe basically of one. Shout out to Miss Cynthia Winters of Seattle, Washington. I got to say that because as I think back on that, you know what? Actually, I was looking back in my Facebook memories, and that was today that happened. So that's amazing that we're having this radio program right now, because it was a year ago today that it just exploded, and she was just so happy. So, wow, we definitely have to make sure that we have a consultation with you concerning, because we always have all these projects. As entrepreneurs, you know, our mind is just always going. I know for myself, there's like about 20 projects in my head right now, and I've got to be serious, write them all down, and pick the most important one and call you up and do a consultation. I think Robert is thinking about doing the same thing, right, Robert?
Oh, no doubt. I've already got that plan to do, is call this sister and definitely have a consultation. I mean, we always got a trade show to go to, and it's just beneficial for our youth to be exposed to this type of knowledge that we get ourselves involved in maybe 3, 4, 5 times a year easy. So it's a cause that's very worthy. And you're right, you know, when you say about how people look at Las Vegas. I mean, a lot of people look at Las Vegas, and the first thing that they say is it's Sin City, you know, and it just has such a negative reputation, I thought, attached to that city. And it's, for me, being in business, it's just quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. It's so much to learn in that environment because of the trade shows and the amount of business that's being done in Vegas all the time. So we want to get the youth there, and we definitely need to get the support, and however that's going to have to be done, if your ideas, and I'll push it, you know, and see what happens with it. But yes, I will be calling you for sure.
Okay. Very good. I look forward to it.
What we're going to do now is I have a clip saved from the doctor's show, and then we'll segue into that for a moment, and then we'll go to commercial, and then we'll let Dr. Wright talk about her show and any other projects that she has going forward. So, Scotty, please go ahead and play the clip.
Yeah, Cece, can you keep talking while I try to get that to come up?
Hey, this is Dr. Letitia Wright, host of the Wright Place Television show and your crowdfunding strategist. This is video number 1, where I'm talking about the top 3 strategies that you need to create a fully funded project. These are one of the 3 things that you need to have. They are in every single successful crowdfunding campaign. And you have to make this part of what you're doing. Now, just for quick review, crowdfunding is raising funds by leveraging a website online and getting other people to contribute money to your goal. You set your goal and you set your time limit. And you tell them what the money is for. This could be for a business that's already existing, a new business starting up, or some other type of idea. The money is not a loan, and the money is not a grant. So you get this money in about 120 days, 4 months. You get the program rolled out and the money comes in. There are over 500 different websites that you can use for the crowdfunding, but it's a great way to raise money. And I help people get fully funded in 90 days or less. Now, the one thing that you want to do with crowdfunding is you really got to create a plan. Let me tell you what doesn't work. It's not about, if I build it, they will come. You know, millions of dollars will come if I just put it up on a website. You really, really got to have a strategy, and you really have to know what you're doing. And so I'm here to tell you some of the things that are crucial to making that happen. You know, in the past year, we've seen some great things with crowdfunding. There's a book about stick figures that raised $1 million. There are movies, 2 movies that have raised $1 million on crowdfunding. There are watches and just all kinds of different things that have raised a lot of money. You can do anything almost with crowdfunding. There's been the first crowdfunded baby has been born. There has been a crowdfunded CD that raised over $200,000. And so really, when it comes to getting the money for your project, it's about knowing what you're doing and having a good strategy. Okay? So you want to know how to give your project the best possible chance of making it, because there are consequences for a failed crowd-funded project. Number one, all of the money that you raise, you won't get if it's a failed project. The other thing is that once people have given into a project and they've been a part of a project, you may find yourself in a situation where it's really hard to get them back if you have a failed project. There's a whole psychological thing around that. And you have to be aware of crowdfunding fatigue. A lot of people are getting a lot of different requests to give money with crowdfunding projects, especially in the creative world, where people are doing movies and books and art and all of that, plays and music. They're getting a lot of requests on crowdfunding. And so crowdfunding fatigue is something that's really real. You've got to make sure you've got a good plan so that none of that really, happens to you. So the first strategy I'm going to talk about with you is finding and identifying the part of your tribe that will participate in what you're doing. So let me define the word tribe. I call tribe the people who support you, they love your products, they love working with you, they respond to you. That is your tribe. That is the first people that you're going to go to about your project, because they're the first people who are going to support the project, and they're the first people that are going to give you money. So identify, even within that niche of your tribe, who is going to participate. So one of the ways that you want to do that is you want to look at your former buyers. If you have anybody who's bought products from you and they're really happy with your products, that is part of the tribe. It's really important to take time to do this step, because you will save time, energy, and money when you're getting the message out to them, because you're focusing right on the people who want to help you, who are ready to help you, instead of just spreading the message out to a whole bunch of people who couldn't care less. It's really important to do this step. So they're going to want the rewards that you're offering, and they're going to want to give money in exchange for those rewards so that you can raise the money that you need to raise. So look at who has bought your products, who really loves your products, who's a satisfied customer, who's giving you a testimonial, who responds to you on social media in a way that's very interactive. In other words, they're replying back, they're adding to it. Some people on Facebook are really magic at keeping long conversations going. One person comments, and then, you comment, and then other people comment, and you get notices that other people have commented, and then you see something that you want to address. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's angry, sometimes it's something really important. It's an important issue. But those people that are responding and interacting with you, whether it be on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Twitter, or any of the other social medias that you really like to use, that's the key thing. I don't put any social media down. If you like to use it, it's great. That means your tribe is there. Those people that are responding to your Pinterest or anything else, that is part of your tribe. And within that tribe, certain people have very, very specific things that they're interested in. So you've got to go through and figure that out. Now, if you're thinking, I'm starting a new business, I don't really have a tribe yet. No worries. I've got a solution for you in that. See, I work with clients every day on their campaigns. And so I've seen what happens in real life, not just theory, but in real life. And so I've got a great strategy for you if you don't even have a tribe. So take a minute, check out the second video, and I'll give you some more information. Remember, ignoring one's conscience is neither safe nor right. I'll see you in the next video.
Black Talk Radio, your choice for digital black radio. New black media for the new millennium.
All right, everyone. We are back from a commercial break. We are talking to Dr. Letitia Wright. She is a crowdsourcing expert. And we just listened to one of her videos. And we will also put that video in BIB Radio. If you've not joined us on Facebook, all capital letters, BIB Radio, and you can get all of the information that we're sharing here today. So also, if you are listening and you would like to chime in, you would like to ask questions, just press **. It will unmute you and you can go ahead and ask the doctor some questions. Also, we would like to invite you to support the Black Talk Media Project.org. Because Black Talk Radio Network is bringing you wonderful news, wonderful information about your people that you won't hear anyone else, or anywhere else, I should say. All right, and let's see here. Dr. Wright, are you there still?
I am.
Okay, so now as you had listened to yourself in that video, some of it was repetitive, which is fine because that's how we learn. But had that brought anything else to mind for you that you wanted to share with us?
Just really that it's kind of a little bit old, and so there's a part in there when I say it's not a loan and it's not a grant. At that time, there weren't crowd-funded loans, and the crowd granting had not existed. And so just to let people know, things change and move, and it's always changing. I think that's one of the reasons why I find crowdfunding so fascinating, is that it grows and changes with different people.
That's very interesting to know. So if people are interested in those 6 ways of crowdfunding and which one would be specific to them, they should definitely reach out to you and find out how you can help them source their project. Now, as we segue into the next hour, if you have time, I also want you to talk about your program and any other projects that you have going on that you may want our listening audience to support.
Thank you so much. It's very generous of you. I'd love to talk about that.
Okay.
So just right now? I'm sorry. I thought we were taking another quick break. Okay.
No quick breaks. We're done with that. Go ahead.
Okay, very good. I'm sorry. I was looking for a commercial break. Okay, so here's the deal. Crowdfunding is something I've been doing for about 5-6 years now. Where I started was with a show called Wright Place TV. I started back in 2000, and my show was for entrepreneurs, about entrepreneurs or for entrepreneurs, way back before Shark Tank, way back before anybody was on TV talking about business. I was in Los Angeles talking about business every week. I loved interviewing entrepreneurs, love to hear their story, love to highlight their success for other people watching so that you can copy. Because here's the deal. If you can find somebody who's done what you're trying to do, you know you can do it. See, you don't have to recreate business success, you can really follow what somebody else has done and get where you want to get very quickly because they've already paved the way. And so I wanted to have a show that would help entrepreneurs move forward. So Wright Place TV has been on television for 17 years, been nationally syndicated by Dish On Demand to 64 million homes. Currently, we're on cable in Los Angeles, and we go out to 6.5 million homes, and we're having really a great time and some great success.
Wow.
Now I've also created a program because many times when people would come on the show, they had a great business and a great story, but they weren't prepared to tell it. And I know as radio hosts, you have run up against this also. We get the person who gets on there, and you ask them a question, and they go, yes.
And that's it, yes.
Then that's it. Okay, so for all of you watching, she's laughing because that's a radio and TV host nightmare. That's our nightmare. That's the stuff that we wake up screaming in the middle of the night about. It's this great guest who gets on and doesn't say anything. It's really awful. And so I started media training clients to get ready for the television show. And that really grew and turned into a program called the Media Icon Program. So the Media Icon Program is something I developed for people who were really ready to take over their niche. And I've developed about 12 different areas that you need to grow in order to become a household name. How did I get into the top 100 crowdfunding experts in the United States when I came from nowhere in crowdfunding? There are 12 things that I did, 12 areas that I worked on, and I built up, and it took me about 18 months, just short of 2 years, to make that kind of notoriety happen, where I've been called all over the United States to teach. And so for some people, you know, you've done a lot in your area, but now you're ready to go bigger. You're ready to be a household name in your niche. You're ready to be a big name, a big brand, and make more money. And so the Media Icon Program focuses on helping people do that. And so I love working with clients one-on-one. We have a VIP day called the Sky Day. That's where you spend a day with me, really 2 days with me. We take a private jet to Northern California. We have a nice little hotel we stay in. We work on your project. We get you set up. When you get back, you are inspired and you can take off. My clients have had so much success when they come back because their mind is on straight about who they are, where they're going, and what they're capable of. And also, other people look at them differently. Now some doors are open to you. When you do certain things, certain doors open to you that are not open to you when you're not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what the Media Icon Program works on. So that's really what I'm doing. I love teaching crowdfunding, and then I have this whole other side. It's all about media training, and getting you ready to be number one in your field.
Wow. Now, how many people do you get that are just pure stage fright?
I get people that do have stage fright, and we do work on that because you do have to have a certain state of mind in order to do well. So stage fright is something that we do have to work through if people are really ready to work through it. Now, for some people, they say they have stage fright in order so that they don't do it. And so I sort of take people on a one-on-one basis because if it's really something that you're willing to work through, then let's do it. But if it's not something you're willing to work through, you just want it as an excuse as to why you can't do it, that's not something I can help you with. You have to be really in your mind ready for what's going to happen because things change. When you're well-known, things change. Guess what? You can't go to the local store in your dirty sweats after you painted the house because you know what? I guarantee somebody's going to see you. Somebody who knows you have a show. Somebody who knows you are successful.
Uh-oh. Oh, you cannot go to the store in your dirty sweats anymore. Once you are successful, people do not do that. If you don't want to go out, you have to send somebody else out. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah, you can't do that anymore. And so what I did was when I started being known and people started seeing me in the store and asking me what I was doing and looking me up and down and asking me if I was okay, I had to put aside some little cute outfits, comfortable outfits to go run around in. So I wasn't dressed up, but I made sure I had on my little cute outfit. So all I'm saying is that perceptions change, things change, but these are the things that you need to change in order for you to be able to make the kind of money you want to make. People don't pay nobody big money. People pay people who have a big reputation is big money. The bigger your show is, the more money you can make on advertisers and sponsorship and all these other things that come with it. But you must be a name that everybody can recognize.
Absolutely. And that's very important because a lot of times entrepreneurs have a hard time coming out of their shell. And that goes along with what you just talked about. You know, you want your business to be well known, but are you willing to do those things that are required of you? You know, you're not Steve Jobs. You can't just wear a white turtleneck and some jeans. You can't do that. You need to make yourself.
You need to create your own style. And here's the thing: you need to do something unique for you. One client that I just started working with, seriously, she's had 2 coaching sessions, and she had done a podcast for a couple of years. She's done her YouTube channel. She's been doing little videos on Facebook Live. And so I sat down and I said, look, this is how you're going to do yours. Before, she had been doing this little talking head thing, and she'd get up there and you just see her head. She would just be talking, or she started getting a lot of these other people, they'll get out and they'll do their little Facebook Live or their Periscope while they're walking. And this is what's going on. And they're huffing and puffing and sweating and talking and walking. And you know what? I'm not gonna say anything about that, but I told her, for what you do, this is how we're gonna revamp your show. The first show she did the way I told her to do it, she picked up a client. So I'm not talking about stuff that's just about show. I'm talking about, let's seriously make an impact on your bottom line. The thing is that if my clients don't make money, then they can't continue to hire me. So I make sure not only are you doing the things that get you big time in the media, but you're also doing the things that get you clients that can pay.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the goal ultimately. I mean, if you're just looking for friends, then you just stay on that Facebook Live with all that loud chatter in the background. But if you really want a reputable presence, you have to be willing to go forth and do those things that give you a reputable presence.
And unless you are unless your thing is health and exercise, I recommend nobody do that. Hi, I'm walking and sweating and talking. Don't do that. Don't. This is not.
You know what? If they're going to do that, they should have a closed caption. A caption so people can read what
they shouldn't even do it. I mean, the thing is that if you're going to be in video, don't you want to look your best? I don't know about anybody else, but I mean, there's a couple of people that are really fit and cute, and they can exercise and sweat, and they look hot. I don't look great when I'm exercising and all sweaty and hair's all plastered to my face and it's all red and I'm puffing. That's not a good look. For 99% of the people, it's not a good look. You can't pull it off. You're not pulling it off. And if you're doing something and doing something, and it's not getting you anywhere, you got to stop at some point and say, how do I tweak this? What's going on? Exactly.
That's great advice because, we talk about that too sometimes. Like me, I know I really don't like to do a video if I'm not in the right mindset and if I don't feel that I look a certain way. I don't like to do video because then I know my confidence can't come forth in that video, and therefore people are not going to even believe what the heck I'm trying to say.
Right. And that's what you have to think about, your audience. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I only want to do video. I'm only comfortable at this level of, there's only so much makeup I'm not going to have. I did a Facebook Live with a friend of mine who picked me up for lunch, and the Facebook Live was because I'm traveling, I wasn't in full makeup, but I definitely had on some foundation and some little under-eye brightener because I've been working hard for 3 days, and I don't want to look like I've been working hard for 3 days.
Right. So just make it presentable. Robert, you're there. What do you have to say about this Facebook Live information?
Oh, no. I'm really enjoying listening to the sisters. You really have to allow your personality to flow through when you addressing people in reference to Facebook. You just have to really be you. If you got an explosive personality, then when you do a Facebook Live or whatever, that energy has to come across, as you said. It just has to come across. You can't get on there doubting yourself like you just said. See, your confidence level got to be where it needs to be in order to make an impact. And just listening to the sister and listening to you too, Cece, I'm listening to you laugh because I know you're enjoying what the sister's saying. I'm listening to the sister, and I'm over here just smiling because of that energy, and it makes you want to engage. So, I mean, I love it. This is good.
Well, that's wonderful, and that's why we're here. We're here to promote what it is that we do. We want to help others do better what they do, and that's why we have invited Dr. Wright on, and that is why we're on every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Black Talk Radio Network. We are here to give you what you need in business and entrepreneurship. So, Dr. Wright, what other projects do you have coming up that you would like our listeners to know about?
I have a few speaking events that are coming up that they're public speaking events that people can come to. But that's basically it. And like I said, I'm very focused on this crowdfunding project at CelebrateLifeFundraiser.com, and I'd love for any of you to go and put in any amount you want to put in and see what happens. See how the magic goes. If you've never given any money in crowdfunding and you want to raise money in crowdfunding, find a project to put $5 in to see how it works. And, of course, Celebrate Life Fundraiser is a great place to do that. And send a note that you heard me on here. I'll make sure that you get something special for helping it out. But go and look at it. Check out how it's set up. See what we're doing and see how things work. And I'm around. So I'm working on that. We're in the last, 21 days of that. We're on a nice push. And you can see the story of everything that we're doing when you go to CelebrateLifeFundraiser.com. And, that's the big deal. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I'm very, very grateful for the time.
Well, we appreciate you for coming on. Now, did you have a text code that you wanted to share or anything like that?
Sure. If you guys would like my free book, Crowdfunding Made Simple, I'm going to give you the code to text. So all you have to do is text CC to 909-906-9797. So you pull out your phone, pull up your text messaging app, and you'll text the number 909-906-9797, and it'll send you a link to download the free book, Crowdfunding Made Simple. That'll go over what we talked about and a little bit more and help you understand exactly how to get started and what you need to know.
Okay, so let's get that number again because I just tried to text it and it was like, nope. So what is it?
Okay. 909-906-9797. Again, 909-906-9797.
Okay.
And I'm happy to answer any questions. And all of my contact information is in the Crowdfunding Made Simple book when you text 909-906-9797. And you can contact me from there, and we can go from there.
Sounds great. So, listeners, reach out to Dr. Letitia Wright. She is here to help you with your crowdfunding needs, and she is excited to get with you. Consultation is free. Go ahead and get what you need. That is why we provide the show today. All right, Doctor, we thank you so much for joining us this night on your busy scheduled day. Now, let me ask you one more question. You said you're doing speaking engagements. Is there a place for us to track where you will be speaking?
Absolutely. Go to WrightPlaceTV.com. That's the TV show website. Wright, like my name, WRIGHT, Place, TV, like television.com. And all of the gigs are listed there. So I'll have a few things coming up over the next couple of months. And then as soon as classes are confirmed in Maui, I'll have that up. And I just confirmed a class in Los Angeles, actually. And so I'll be putting that out very quickly also.
Well, sounds great. Maybe we'll be in Maui at the same time because we have to go there too. But we definitely would like to actually have you come to St. Louis. So we'll have to connect later on and talk about that so that we can help the entrepreneurs. Yes, we can help the entrepreneurs here get what they need from you concerning crowdfunding. But we want to tell you thank you so much. Blessings to you and your business. Come back anytime to promote anything that you're doing because you're now a friend to the show. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. You are so generous, and thank you guys. You guys have a great night, and all is well. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, all right, everybody. That was Dr. Letitia Wright, and I think that she gave us a whole lot of information concerning crowdfunding and crowdsourcing that we just didn't know about. You know, we tend to jump on the internet and just kind of do these things, but sometimes you need that expert hand, and she is definitely that expert hand because I know that I did a project last year and it was done just like that, but I've also done other projects and apparently I didn't produce
Joining conference now. This conference is being recorded by the organizer.
In order to achieve what it is that we say we want. Because, I mean, if you want to be comfortable right now and try to achieve your dreams at the same time, that's just, in entrepreneurship, that's not going to happen. You got to be really focused on what it is that you say you want to do, and you really have to make some really financial literate decisions. I mean, in terms of letting the cable go, letting those things go for now, in order to invest in your business and stay focused and cut back on eating out. You know, all the amount of money we spend on eating. Cut back on those things right now. Focus on the business. And this is not, I'm not saying this because have perfected this. I need to hear this as well. So we have to cut back on the going out and buying food out all the time or 2 and 3 times a week. That Five Guys is, I know it's good to you, you know, and it's good to me as well. And
wait a minute now. How do we go from crowdfunding to Five Guys? Lord have mercy. Let me get back in here.
But let's cut out those type of expenses. You know, that's $10 a meal or whatever, and you do that 10 times a month. That's $100 easy. That could be money towards whatever you need. Your business card. You have to sacrifice. The point is, you have to sacrifice. You have to take that money and put it where it needs to be put in your business, because the business is your everything. I mean, it is. It's your everything.
I think what we have to do, too, is kind of sit down, because as business owners, we're kind of like sometimes running around like a chicken with our head cut off. We have all these ideas that we have to do this and we have to do that. And then we listen to this person on Facebook Live, or we listen to this TED Talk, and we listen to this whatever. You know, we listen to all these different people, and we get kind of thrown off of our center, you know, and sometimes you have to just go back to basics. And it's like, okay, what am I lacking in basics? Like, you might be lacking a website. Well, wait a minute. Do I need a website right now? Or can I use Facebook, free Facebook for now? Is that okay for me? Like Dr. Wright was saying that, you know, you build your crowdfunding platform from your website. So if I don't have a website, can I do it from Facebook? See, that's a question that you would have to ask Dr. Wright, because I definitely don't know. But if you don't have a website, you definitely want to know, okay, do I need one, or can I just utilize Facebook? And if I need a website, can I just go to Wix.com, or can I build it myself, or can I call Scotty Reed of Black Talk Radio Network? Can I contact him through blacktalkmediaproject.org? Can I have him be my social media instructor, because that is what he's good at? You know, that's what you need to do. If you don't have these things put in place, you do need to seek out those professionals in those foundational things, because, you know, you can't, well, what is the saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, you know, and that basically means, you know, you have a huge project, but you just take it little by little. And when you do that, it will be done. And you can only do that if you go back to your foundation and start over again. You know, I'm a fond lover of writing things down. You know, everybody puts things in their phone these days. You don't have to do that. You can go back to old school, and you can get yourself a notebook and start writing these things down. Do a mind map. Everybody learned mind map in college, probably. You know, you just get a piece of paper, write a circle, draw an oval in the middle of the paper, write down the subject, and then from that subject, you just keep branching off little stems of what you need to do. For instance, if your business needs money, so you could put business money in the middle, and then you just start branching off different ideas of how your business can get more money or income. If you need an assistant, then you put that in the middle, assistant. And what are your ideas about getting an assistant? Where would you go for that? Would you contact me because I am a virtual assistant? Would you inbox me at imsissiharry@gmail.com? Or would you call me at 253-343-7284 because you need a virtual assistant? You need someone that can help you keep your business together virtually, whatever that may be. Those are things that you need to do. Mind map. Sit there, meditate, think about what you need foundationally for your business before you jump through these other hoops. I mean, if you want to do crowdfunding, you want to gain money for your business, before you go and you approach a powerhouse like Dr. Letitia Wright, I would say you need to make sure that you have your business in order, because you don't want to pay for something or try to pay for something and you don't even have the basic stuff in order. That's what I would say.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah. So for me, I know that I need to get, I'm always trying to build a website off of something. I mean, I'm like, oh, I need to buy this name. It's like, how many names do I own? I don't even want to go and look, but it's like, okay, today is a new project. I mean, I need to get centered myself. I need to take my own advice and do a nice mind map, do some meditating, go sit outside, breathe, walk the dog, something. Because I've got a lot of things going on as far as what I would like to do. Me personally, yesterday I was able to hire my sister as my assistant, and all I needed her to do was listen to a radio program and take down some information. It was a 2-hour program. It probably did her some good to listen to that program, but it was a 2-hour radio program, and I needed for her to take down some certain information off of that. And I was able to pay my sister $15 to listen to a 2-hour program. So, you got to get creative. If you need assistance or you need help, don't be afraid to ask. A closed mouth does not get fed. But we're going to go to a break right now. You're listening to BIB Radio on Black Talk Radio Network. If you are listening, feel free to dial **, and you can get in and raise your hand. But we'll be right back after these messages.
Radio since 2008, providing new black media for the masses.
All right, we are back. Thank you for listening to BIB Radio every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we are housed on Black Talk Radio Network. Please support blacktalkmediaproject.org, where we give you great entertainment all day, every day, 24/7, blacktalkradionetwork.com. So we were just having a discussion about getting yourself together so that you can get yourself together. So, Robert, like after talking to Dr. Wright, did it kind of propel you forward to like wanting to crowdfund for more projects, or are you just really focused on the thing with the children going to Las Vegas?
Well, for sure, just focus on that because, it didn't go well, nowhere near where I expected. So now it's the challenge, just the whole idea of the challenge of making it actually do what you want it to do. Once I can get that part of it together, then we can move forward with some other ideals. I just don't see anything more important than getting these youth to these different trade venues. Everything else is that I would probably be dealing with crowdfunding would more than likely be around somewhere related to the youth, or some big project that I haven't came up with yet, but maybe in the laundry detergent industry. I do have something that I want to work on with that. But, I definitely am inspired to go at it again because, they call that, OPM, other people's money. And in business, you need to at least be able to utilize other people's money in order to grow. You really don't want loans because, you're obligated to that debt the company is. So you really don't want that as a business. You want to be able to get your hands on a nice little startup something and then be able to grow it from there. Let the business do what it's supposed to do. But
right.
I'm inspired definitely to get back at it. And what about you? What are you thinking?
Well, I have a few things that I want to do. My heart is out there for the children always, And when people properly take care of children, the adults see the residual effect of that, I believe. Because if you're an adult and you really love your children, you can just operate in feeling that love that somebody is showing your children. So mine is, I come from Washington. And in Washington, the child care industry is very different than here in St. Louis. Now, there's poverty everywhere, of course. But what I see here in St. Louis, the state does not really pick up the cost of child care. I know in Washington, there's it's the state assistance everywhere, but everybody has their different little guidelines. But here in St. Louis, I've run into so many parents that can't get funding for child care. And their children are just going here, there, and everywhere, because the parents can't afford child care. So I would like to start some sort of fund where people's child care is just paid for, and it's just like not even a question. Their child care is already taken care of. If they are shown to be someone who is working, and even entrepreneurs, it doesn't matter. If you're working and you're working in your industry, your business, you're going to school. I mean, this is not for people who just want to go lay down and eat snacks. I mean, I don't, and I'm not making a stereotype. I'm just saying, because I've worked in the area and I know how that works sometimes. But for people who are really trying to move forward, but their only deficit is childcare. I mean, there's governments in other countries that the childcare is free. So I would like to start something like that. I'm not sure what that looks like. I would have to have a consultation myself with Dr. Wright. But of course, I would want people doing. I don't even know how that would work. Would I want like some big facility? I mean, no, not really. I would want some sort of contracted situation with high quality child cares around the city and the county where people can take their children. Like there's certain child cares that are eligible to take your children if you are on this program. And the program is because you are not eligible for state assistance. Because like I said, there's so many people. I had a mom come into the flea market the other day and she had 5 children and everybody was like under 6. I mean, it was like, whoa. I mean, and I congratulated her. It was a mom and a dad. I'd never want them to think I'm looking down on them because I think it's beautiful that our people have children because we know that they're killing our children off every day. So it was a beautiful thing for me to see them. And I was curious. I'm like, well, what do you all do for a living? And she told me she works at Pizza Hut and he works somewhere else. And it's really hard for them because they don't have childcare. So as she's going, he's coming, and vice versa. And to pick up the slack, they kind of drop their children off with different family members, and it's a guess every day where the children are going to go. So my heart was out to them. And I told her, of course, I said, listen, you need to be working from home. I mean, this is great for you that you have these children, but you need to be able to be with your children. You know, you need to be able to produce an income right from where you are. So with that being said, even if she was working from home, if she needed time to go to the library or go down to SCORE to do some research on her industry, I believe that childcare should be there for her. If she decided to stay at Pizza Hut, you know, there should be childcare there for her. Because there's always been these hoops and hurdles for our people in having sustainable income. I mean, nothing's changed. It's still the same thing today. You know, you might have a job and they only hired you for part-time, or they cut you back to part-time, and then you lose your child care, you know? So you have to like start from square one all over again. I mean, it's just a big mess. And I just want to somehow create a system where people can get free child care. I don't mean a copay. I mean free child care because they are working in bettering themselves some kind of way. So that was a long drawn out answer, but that is what I want to do. Robert, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, okay.
My mind, I'm sorry. I'm thinking about this laundry detergent business, and I was just wrestling with, you know, I got a great idea for the laundry detergent business, and I really want to get with this lady and see just what we could do with this. You know, I just got a great idea for that. But on another note, again, I want to suggest to the listening audience, we're not going to stray off subject, but I just, while it's on my mind, in reference to the opportunity to sell the laundry detergent that we sell here in St. Louis in whatever city that you are in, if you're listening to this program via live or podcast. We sell laundry detergent in 5-gallon buckets. And this laundry detergent can be also sold where you are. You could be a distributor. This is a great money-making product. Everywhere in your neighborhood, every home in your neighborhood, I would almost say 99% likelihood that each one of those homes has laundry detergent in it. And for what you can sell them 5 gallons of laundry detergent for, they can't go in no department store, no mega Walmart or Costco and buy 5 gallons of laundry detergent for $60, for $50, for $70. They can't buy it like that. So you could become a distributor, order a pallet of laundry detergent from us for $720. That's $20 a bucket because you're getting 36 buckets to a pallet. That's $20 a bucket. You can sell those buckets, those 5-gallon buckets, from anywhere from 40 to 65 is what I would say is a good number, top number, dollars per bucket, and create a great stream of income. Now, here's the catch with the laundry detergent dealing with the customer. Once they buy it one time, they're going to come back. We get repeat customers all the time. We never have dissatisfied customers with our product. The only time our customers are maybe a little bit uncomfortable is because we may not have the different types of detergent that they want available when they want it, because we sell so much detergent. So this is a profitable opportunity for anyone who is thinking or looking for some other thing to do to make money. And that residual customer is gonna constantly come back after they run out. They're gonna constantly come back. Then you can sell them other products that they may need that we offer as well. But definitely, if you're interested in becoming a distributor of the laundry detergent, email us at weareblacksinbusiness@gmail.com. Or look for CC Harry on Facebook, or myself, Robert 11X Minor, and that's 11 spelled out, X behind it, Minor, MINER, on Facebook, and let us, walk you through it and let's get started selling the detergent. So I had to put that in there, CC.
Well, listen, so with you going through that, like I said, that needs a mention every time we are on, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I have an idea. I think that you should just probably have a commercial on Black Talk Radio Network. It is a very reasonable price. So I know a person that does voice work, me, and we could probably just put a commercial together, and that way you can circulate it throughout the network. So that is definitely a way to get the word out about any commercial or advertisement that you may want to do.
Right. Definitely, we need to get right on top of that and make that happen because we want to make money, and we want to see our people free from our enemies' jobs. We want to help you all be successful. Not that we want to make money off of your success. We sincerely want to see you successful. We're going to make money regardless, but we want to see our people free, and the one way that I know best is through entrepreneurship. There's just no other way that I could think of that's going to get us free from all our social issues. We have to be able to finance our revolution. If somebody else is financing our revolution, then they own the revolution. No, we don't own it. So we have to pool our resources, put our thinking caps on, and work together in whatever way possible. But we have to take control of the situation ourselves.
Well, I definitely agree with that. So as time goes on, we will continue to bring on opportunity and information on how to become free. Some people are still skating around the area of entrepreneurship. I had a conversation yesterday. A lot of people are just afraid of their bills. And because they're afraid of their bills, they don't want to let the job go. And I understand the need for a sustainable income, and really the trick to that would be multi-streams of income, a couple of different incomes, so that you can build up to what you need to build up to. We also offer consultation. If you're having a hard time figuring out what it is that you would be good at outside of your job, we do offer consultation, but I would tell you, look at yourself. What job is it that you're doing now? Could you possibly do what you're doing for that job for yourself? Of course you can. And so again, if you would like to talk with us, go ahead and email weareblacks with an S in business @gmail.com. We are happy to talk with you and help you figure these things out. Because even if you do decide to stay on the job, why not do something for yourself? We don't encourage you to stay on any job, but if that's what you choose to do, we are definitely not judging you, but why not have something going on for yourself? You deserve to be as creative as you want to and make money off of the things that you like to do, because you do them so naturally. But again, we're here to talk with you at any time. But tonight's show has been great. I'd like to thank Dr. Letitia Wright for coming on the show and speaking with us about crowdfunding and crowdsourcing. you all can feel free to reach out to her for that free consultation. You can also look her up on YouTube under her name, Dr. Letitia, Leticia Wright, Wright, Letitia Wright. We had a great show today. Don't you agree, Robert?
Yes, I do. I'm going to get right on the phone tomorrow, and we're going to see what we can make happen with this crowdfunding thing.
All right. Well, that sounds great. Well, I'm excited about all the things that you are putting forth as usual. I don't know any man that works harder than you, but you know what? It's definitely a blessing to see a man that wants to work, because the Bible says if the man does not work, he does not eat. So I definitely see you working, so you must be eating.
Yes, I am eating. At his feet.
Yes. Right. Okay. And on that note, everybody, we are going to bid you adieu. Thank you for joining us tonight on BIB Radio. We'll see you the same time next week. Thank you so much, and good night.
Good night, people.
Call recording.